Hey, thanks for tuning in to Things Might Happen. This week, our guest is journalist Miranda O'Bryan. Miranda was Miss South Dakota in 2023. Now she's gone on to be an author, podcaster, and news journalist. She swung by the studio and spoke to us about her push for childhood literacy, her passion for local representative journalism, and the Miss USA organization. Weezer also comes up a surprising amount. Please take a moment to drop a comment, subscribe on the platform of your choice, and if you enjoy this episode, recommend us to your friends and family so more things might happen. Now, on to the show. We like to joke around here. We're all in this together. Hey, this guy.
It's too much, Sheldon. I can't feel it.
This whole thing just going to be you stealing Sheldon's job because I love
You should
that.
take my
I am a
job.
podcast host of my own.
She does have a podcast.
I do.
I did my research.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
My name is Tyler Corbine. This is Things Might Happen. This is our weekly interview. The weeks where it works, for us to do this. On my left, we have Sheldon Starr, art guy, Miami Vice wannabe. On my right, we have Tyler Matheson, a guy in a Henley shirt. I know that those are called Henley shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And then across, we have our guest of the week, and it's Miranda O'Bryan.
That is me.
That is Miranda.
I was going to say, it's Sheldon Star 2.0.
Yeah, she's
No,
got the glasses.
You're way better than anything that I could pull off. So you don't have to include my name in your name.
Yeah. So this is she was Miss South Dakota.
Yes.
That's
yes.
her big title.
Yeah.
She big shots us that
My
all the
forever
time.
claim to fame, if you will. Never let it go.
Is that going to be your like 2 truths and a lie from now on forever? Like, and I was once Miss South Dakota, and it's like, dude, I'm literally your mom. I know.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where I mean, okay, I'm on the news. People see my face. They knew my face before I was Miss South Dakota. Miss South Dakota helped that. Now I'm back on the news.
Did she just, do you know who I am?
Wait, do you know who I am? I'm just kidding. No, I'm not that cool. But I don't think I could use that because it would be too obvious. Like, I have to pull out something like, I'm afraid of butterflies, which is a truth and not a lie. I don't know what the lie would be, but I think too many people would know it, so I couldn't even use it even if I wanted to. But maybe I will.
think you should lie about the butterfly thing.
I don't think I should, because then people will want me to do things with butterflies. They tried to as Miss South Dakota. My family constantly tries to make me do things with butterflies. And that's a panic attack waiting to happen.
Is it all bugs or is it butterflies?
No, it's all bugs, but you would think butterflies, like, oh, they're pretty. No, they're terrifying. They're creepy. They're disgusting. All bugs are. I mean, we have bugs crawl around the KNBN studio, and I about crapped my pants the other morning when one was crawling up on the desk. I couldn't get away from it fast enough. I can't do it.
It was a cave cricket, which is terrifying if you haven't seen one. They're different than regular crickets.
I don't go in very many caves.
Well, I think they're also called spider crickets. They're like the gray, or not gray, tan. Mm-hmm. And they are quick. You think a cricket is quick? This thing did laps around the studio. I think it did like 20 laps in the 5 seconds.
It was wearing like a sweatband.
It was.
And like listening to 80s music is...
Yeah.
The reincarnated spirit of Richard Simmons.
Oh, it was Sheldon, actually. Okay, we have a problem now. I'm just kidding.
This guy. Oh. That's gonna be my thing this episode. That's my new thing. This guy.
That's
right
not
here.
the new thing. Let's not.
Your back is gonna be bruised for me. Just. So you do journalism. Obviously,
Yes.
You're the morning anchor.
Oh yeah, I've been up. Well, what time is it? We're right now. It's 6:46 while we're chatting. So I've been up for 15 hours, which is like not anything crazy, but I think 3 a.m. and then 15 hours is a whole other level.
Yeah.
So yeah, morning news, It's fun. Wake up with people.
You got off the air almost 12 hours ago. To put it in that kind of perspective, yeah.
Yes.
Do you do naps?
Today I did. Today I was sitting there watching Charmed, if anybody has a, late 90s, early 2000s TV show connoisseur, and I was like, I can't keep my eyes open. I should probably get up and like work out or do something. No, I'm gonna take a nap. So I napped for like 2 hours today.
It's okay. Charmed has that effect on me too.
Oh no, I love Charmed. I had to pause it. I said, I'm not paying attention. I need to know what happens in this episode with let's see, where am I at? Prue is dead. Oh, spoiler alert.
Stop spoiling.
I
Sorry.
know.
I didn't
Paige,
get
Prue,
to-
and Piper. Well, you got to watch it, man. You're 20 years too late.
Yeah. It is funny because this is the second episode in a row that Charmed has come up on
Wait,
this
you're
podcast.
kidding.
No, because the last guest we had, we were like,
Oh,
what's
that's
your
right.
celebrity crush? And he brought out Alyssa Milano specifically from Charmed.
I mean, same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I get that.
She's on the list for me as well. She's
Charmed.
beautiful.
Theme song. How Soon Is Now by the Smiths.
Huh. Well, you just know that?
I've
That's
never
your
seen
two
Charmed.
truths and a lie?
I've never seen Charmed. And I'm just trying to make sure the Smiths comes onto this podcast.
That's fair.
Third time.
as much as
Third time in a
possible.
row.
Third time, yeah.
We'll see if you can pull it out again later.
Yeah.
So, all right. So,
Just don't ask him about Doors.
Like the band?
It's
No,
Or
no.
like
to
doors in
explain how
general?
Doors work to you. It's
Oh, God.
That's
Yeah.
not-
Or Weezer.
Oh, well, okay. Well, if you want to talk about Weezer, I cried at their concert. So
like, because you were there? Like, you were there?
no, because I love them.
Who forced you to go?
Yeah.
I forced myself. My dad bought us tickets for Christmas and I cried. And then the pandemic happened and it got pushed back and I cried. And then they went, I don't know if we should drive to Texas. That's a long drive. And I said, no, we have to. I'm going to cry again. It was Green Day, Weezer, and Fall Out Boy.
Oh,
it
the
was,
Hella
it was,
Mega Tour. Yeah, that
mhm. I will go again. I have to see. Green Day's on tour right now, and you know what? I would give probably a limb to see them in concert again. Weezer included.
I don't particularly care for Weezer. I'm Weezer ambivalent.
Island in the
But-
Sun, man.
I would absolutely go see Fall Out Boy. I love Fall Out Boy.
And they were my least favorite of the three. I know that's controversial, but
Interesting.
it is what it is.
Yeah, I've heard Green Day has like a rabid fan base, and
Oh,
so that's
God,
not
yeah.
surprising.
They're incredible. It's angsty teen for life. And it's funny because I say angsty teen. My parents had me at 18 years old. So, like, they were angsty teens listening to Green Day. And then I was like an angsty toddler, like 2 years old, like, yeah, rocking out in the car.
just like jamming out. Yeah, George Bush is stupid.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, Weezer fanatic, journalist,
multifaceted woman I am.
once in a while a napper, reader.
Occasionally.
You're a big reader.
Yes.
You like reading. What are you reading right now?
Well, ACOTAR, Court of Thorns and Roses, that series, Sarah J. Maas. I'm getting nods from one of the Tylers. No?
I
I
am
know
currently reading it myself.
Oh, you are? We
I
talked
am,
about
yep.
this. I'm halfway through the third book, but I put a pause on it because I'm actually starting a podcast of my own that is not centered around those books completely, but reviewing books with strong female leads with a really close friend of mine. So I'm very excited about that. But in the process of reading those, I've never read Harry Potter, even though it's some of my favorite movies. So those are on my TBR, my to be read list. I see your face. I know.
I just don't know. Like, you're in the age group
Okay.
where you should have read Harry Potter.
Mhm.
Right, you're not wrong. I wanted to be different.
Mhm.
I was like, everybody's reading Harry Potter. I'm not going to do that. I need something different.
I'm gonna go
I need
listen to
grab something
Weezer.
else. Well, shut up.
The Weezer Harry
No, I
Potter
read
Venn
Twi-
diagram.
Yeah,
It's almost
I
a
read
circle.
Twilight,
No, it's almost
okay,
a circle.
okay.
Just
I
a
was-
large group of losers.
I said I will proudly be a loser. I read Twilight. I was like, I'm the Twilight kid, which then was plenty of mockery through middle school, but that's fine.
I will say the Harry Potter movies are better than the books.
Oh, no,
that's a controversial stance, and
absolutely
I haven't even
not.
read them.
I don't see how somebody
don't
could
have
watch
to.
the movies
Dang.
and
Did
go,
you see
yeah,
the-
I love these.
Did you
Because
see
they're
the-
not good.
Did you see the line going into the movie
Dang.
theater when it came out? And then did you see the line in the library to go get them? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
I don't know how
Wow.
you can say those books had like midnight releases
I
for
went
books.
to them.
true.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
went to the midnight releases for the movies or for,
For the
books?
movies.
Okay.
I was not a figment of the imagination when some of the books came out. Twilight, I did go to midnight premieres of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the books are so much better.
The books are
That's
so
what I
much
hear.
better.
I think,
Twilight.
again, Sheldon.
There's a few Harry Potter movies, like one of
A
them.
few?
I don't know. I stopped watching after the fourth one.
There's like not 8, 9, 7?
There's 8.
8? Because
Yeah.
there's not 7
There's
books.
7 books, and the last one got split into 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deathly Hallows 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, all right. So you read this podcast. This is your Page Turner's podcast. Is that the right one, or is that a different one?
A different one. The one I just mentioned will be different. And I want to like drop the name right now, but we're in the process of recording our first couple of episodes.
Okay,
don't-
this
I-
won't come out for like a month
I
anyway.
know, but
so.
I'm going to say it, and then I'm gonna text Tyler 1.0, 2.0, and then maybe you can remove it. I don't know. It should
you're
be
not
fine.
sure if it's done yet?
No, it is done. It's just we don't know when the release date is. It's going to be October. We just don't have a specific date yet. It's called the High Queen Podcast, which is a nod to ACOTAR. It's also a nod to my co-host and I being Miss South Dakota. So we were both Miss South Dakota.
And they're going to get blazed and then read books. Yeah.
Well, the original name was the Heroin Hour, but you can't, even when heroin is not the drug heroin, it's the woman, you can't use that on social media. It gets flagged. So that one had to go out the door pretty quickly.
I love how you took one drug reference out and made another drug reference, like, just immediately.
Well, plus
Yeah.
that name's already basically taken. The Heroin Hour is
Yeah.
MTV Live Unplugged by Nirvana.
But they didn't
That's
have
basically
anything
the
on.
heroin.
There was nothing on social media. There were, it was a dream. It would have been fun, maybe
Yeah.
in another life. But Paige Turner's was a whole other brainchild for Miss South Dakota. Actually,
Christy Nome
You
would
know.
have loved a podcast called The Heroin Hour. That's right up her branding alley. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you did a podcast about being Miss South Dakota?
You would think no.
No.
Paige Turner's was also reading related, but it was more so like advocacy. So we looked at diversity, equity, and inclusion, kind of the process of being an author, the process of, getting books into people's hands, kids especially. So I interviewed people kind of, it ran the gamut. I had a cookbook author who's from the Pine Ridge Reservation. I had a playwright who's also from the Pine Ridge Reservation. I had one of my favorite authors that I was like, I'm going to shoot my shot. And I DM'd her and I commented on like 17 Facebook posts and she messaged me back. And I think I crapped my pants because she was my very first interview. And I was like, wow, I can do anything. I
Can't set you up
can
on
get
a good
anybody.
house.
Like she was probably one of the biggest people I had. But I also found some people off like TikTok that were really big on like the book talk scene, and I had a Forever Miss America, which like is maybe niche for some people, but I got to interview some pretty cool people, and we just kind of talked about like the importance of literacy. And we did 2 seasons of that. I loved it. I'm forever grateful for it. It gave me the opportunity to try podcasting, and I think it's probably dead, but I will love it forever.
Did you get Dolly Parton?
So I didn't get Dolly herself, but I did have somebody from the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. I pushed. Trust me, I tried, but Dolly, she's busy. Maybe someday. I would revive the Paige Turner's podcast just for Dolly. Just for Dolly and just for Stephanie Myers.
You'll never believe who our next guest is.
Is it Dolly? Well, Sheldon, you're out of a job. I'm back.
She specifically asked it you not be involved. She
I
saw
will
the
wear
letters.
a wig. I'll put on the Hawaiian shirt and the glasses. Dolly ain't even gonna know I'm here. And I'm Sheldon Starr.
That's all you basically have
Yeah.
to do. It's just-
Pretty much. Yeah.
And then just be like super condescending about Weezer and metal bands.
By the way,
That might make my skin
I don't
melt,
even
but
really I like Weezer, but not like
I love
a
how we've
lot.
come back to this.
I
think I sang every song and when did I go to the concert? 23 years old. My brothers and I were some of the youngest people there.
Well, I'm into it. It's just he makes it seem like I'm like
He loves
fanatic.
it.
He makes it seem like I'm
Great
listening to
stuff,
him every
man.
day. No, I'm like
No, that's
only most
aggressive.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you should wake up in the morning.
That's what you do.
Beverly
Don't
Hills.
do that. I don't. I'm just okay on Weezer.
Yeah,
It's good.
we'll change your mind. We've got
Just
another
okay on Weezer
hour
sounds
and
like a Weezer album
Yeah, it literally
title.
sounds like a Weezer album.
That would be something to do. All right. So let's go to our hat of ideas,
Ooh,
hat of questions,
that
and
trademarked term.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely. The Chrissy Davies
the
hat
Chrissy
of ideas.
Davies hat of ideas.
Oh my gosh, Chrissy Davies, you bring her up. I got to tell you a story.
That's what the hat's for. It
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
just bringing up her, it like generates.
Of course it
talk.
does. Chrissy's incredible. Chrissy and I worked together for a little bit right before I won Miss South Dakota. And it was funny because there was always something about her that just, I'm like, who are you? Why do I know you? Why do I feel like I have some sort of weird connection to you? Right before I won, so we'd probably worked together like 6 to 9 months maybe. And she had mentioned that she was once the manager of Hot Topic in the mall here in Rapid City. And I died and then came back to life because I realized that this woman gave me all of the Twilight love and support I could ever need as a middle school student, and my mom. Because my mom read the books with me, and she fully supported her daughter.
Well,
suddenly
she was
wearing,
also in middle school, it
Well,
sounds like.
I mean, she was a middle school teacher, basically. But no, Chrissy basically gave us all the tools we could ever need for me to enter into my miniature little emo Twilight era. A little bit of the scene hair, constant Twilight shirts, turquoise skinny jeans, Converse. Oh, it was a look. I was something. But I thought it was crazy that woman that I had no idea who she was meant so much to me in kind of those formative middle school years. And then we worked together. So Chrissy Davies,
I had
wonderful
no
woman.
idea she was the manager of Hot
Yeah.
Topic. But when you tell me that, it's like
It
definitely.
checks for sure.
every piece of information I gather upon her,
Yeah.
none of it's surprising,
No,
but
she's-
it's all interesting. Like, it's,
She is wild in the best way. I love it.
Yeah.
Shout out Chrissy. I don't know if you'll listen, but hi.
yeah, I've been trying to give this hat back to her for years. Well, we got our first question here.
All right.
It's a tough one. What is your favorite scent?
My favorite scent, like a
Mhm.
smell. Well, it is spooky season, despite the fact that it is literally 90-some degrees outside and probably in this basement. So anything like pumpkin, apple cider smells. I would say like a campfire, but not a campfire in person, because I don't want to smell like the
The
campfire.
dream
Like
of the campfire.
exactly, like the essence of campfire, not be the campfire. So yeah, anything kind of fall spooky season related.
Anything you might run into at like the Spearfish Corn Maze,
Yeah,
anything
basically.
up there,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Not like screaming children or sweaty adults like it's 90 degrees right now, but
I mean, when I think fall, that's what I think.
Yeah,
Definitely
absolutely.
screaming children for sure. Yeah.
hey.
Let's go around on the table on this one. I want to know your favorite scent too.
I know how it makes me sound, but there are very few things
You're
that
about
smell
to say
better
vanilla.
than
He's
vanilla.
about to say vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla is so good. Like it's a great smell. It's a
You
great
know,
scent.
it's
Tyler, that checks.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I know.
it's
Yeah.
great that your favorite scent is also an insult I use against you.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Cucumber melon, specifically from
That's
the
a good one.
90s.
That's a good one.
It is good. I still have that perfume, I think.
It's the best smell in the whole world. Okay.
All right.
So you were walking around with like turquoise skinny jeans wearing cucumber melon?
Yes,
Oh,
I
wow.
can't. I
Did
cannot
that
stress
survive
enough.
into
Yes.
the 2000s?
Cucumber melon.
Cucumber
Body
melon's
spray?
still
I mean,
around.
yeah.
I know it's still around, but it's
Yeah, I have like an old Bath and Body Works bottle. I think still in my parents' basement bathroom. I cannot throw it away.
Yeah.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yes, it smells like early 2000s everything.
And mold now, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I wouldn't spray it, but it's there.
Yeah.
Someday my mom will throw it away, and then I'll,
That's where
midlife
we'll get the
crisis.
next like penicillin is from that bottle.
Cucumber. I will donate it to science.
Or just being in a car garage. Yeah.
Like exhaust?
Oh, so cucumber melon or like diesel fumes.
Exhaust, diesel, gas, coolant,
God.
everything
What's
just
wrong
kind
with
of
your
mixing
nose?
together.
Yeah.
He just goes and sprays himself down at a gas station and
And
just,
then covers it with
Yeah.
cucumber melon.
Yeah. So what is your favorite scent?
Eucalyptus.
Ooh.
It's a stress
good
reliever,
one.
so I just huff it and it doesn't do anything. It's not strong enough.
So he stops huffing that and goes and huffs paint instead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
That High Queen podcast. Make sure you join us. Just kidding.
Ugh, really? You didn't tell me you had this one. This
Oh,
is-
I forgot I had that one.
yeah.
Pass on it.
You should. We're,
Yeah.
we are
Pass
gonna
on. No,
pass.
no. No,
All right,
I'm
well,
the
it's-
journalist.
It's because it's boring.
It's
is what-
boring. Okay,
yeah.
well, let's see. Oh, well, here, I got a fun one for
What
this.
makes you unique?
What makes you unique?
Yeah.
So at the same time that I wore turquoise skinny jeans and cucumber melon perfume, I also wore a back brace. I was that kid. Back braces, thick blue rimmed glasses. I was at my peak in middle school. I cannot begin to tell you. Don't laugh. But I wore a back brace. I have scoliosis to this day. I still do. But my friends named the back brace.
Yeah.
And so the running joke was that, what did we call it? John? I don't know. We'll go with John for now. that John was always on me. You know, in your middle school, you're like, we're making like, you know, sex jokes.
Yeah.
So that makes me unique.
That's
Yeah, a
it.
middle schooler making sex jokes. That's
That's
very
what makes
unique.
you
Yeah.
So you still have scoliosis. Like that's a thing you just
Yes.
have forever.
Well, I mean, I could like put like a metal rod in my back and that would straighten me out.
That
but
sounds like it causes
that
more issues.
sounds like a
It'd make
terrible thing.
going to the airport a nightmare, I would bet.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, it's seriously, it's not a gun. It's a like rod that they put in my
I
back.
am just the Wolverine.
Yeah. Well, now we like this. This is that's a good thing.
So there you go.
So,
That's what makes me
All right.
unique.
I'm glad you don't need a back brace anymore.
Why? Yeah. I
Or
mean,
could you? Do you?
probably.
Is it?
Oh,
It never went away. Like it does. You can't correct it
Yeah.
completely. I mean, like the back brace just stopped it from getting worse. Have I been back to the orthopedic surgeon since I turned, I don't know, 14? No. So it's probably worse, but it is what it is. Makes me unique.
She's really supposed to be 6 foot tall, and
You know, the day that I walked in for an appointment for my back brace, and the doctor nonchalantly, at like 13 years old, was like, "Oh, your growth plates are closed. You're done growing." And my mom, like, it was like slow motion. She looked at me because I've got a cousin who's 7 foot tall. I had an aunt who played college volleyball. Like, that was going to be me. I was going to do that. And then at 5'4", on a good day, the doctor goes, "Oh, you're done growing. That's great." Instant tears. Just ruined my entire life. I was never going to be a supermodel. I was never going to be a professional volleyball player. What will I do? Ended my life.
well, sorry to hear it's over. Yeah.
You know,
apparently over for a while
Yeah.
now.
we're making do. We're
You're
just
doing
throwing
pretty
things
well.
at the wall. I'm just kidding. No, it worked out the way it was supposed to. But at 13, I think it was devastating.
Yeah. I don't know. 5'4" is not like that short, is it?
It's below average. Like average is like 5'7", 5'8" for a woman.
For women?
Yeah.
Well, men are like average is like 5'9".
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the average height for like my mom's average height, she's 5'8". No,
All
I'm
right.
I thought your
I'm
mom was
small.
tall.
That doesn't
I'm
sound right.
small. I wear 8-inch heels when I step on a stage because I am tiny.
Jamie, can you look that up?
Yep.
Young,
I feel like 5'5" is a woman.
I don't know. I'm
young
curious.
Tyler.
Average height of women in the United States who are 20 years or older is 5 feet 3.5.
It has
What?
changed.
No way.
Wow,
That
I'm
sucks.
above average in something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, great. Our food doesn't have any nutrients anymore. Well, I'm happy that this is good for you and
Yeah, hey.
terrible for humanity.
You know, we're all going to be teeny tiny before you know it.
If you could visit anywhere on Earth,
Mm.
where would you go?
It's a good thing there's a globe, but it doesn't turn, Tyler. You got to put some WD-40
Well, you're
on
supposed
that
to
thing.
turn it a little bit slower. Only supposed to rotate once every 24 hours.
Okay, if I could go anywhere in the world, I would love to go to Egypt and see the pyramids. I have a history degree as well as a journalism degree. So would love to do that. Would also love to go to Greece because I love Greek mythology, like wildly obsessed with it. Would love to see the Acropolis. Need to have my Mamma Mia and Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants moment where I like jump off of a cliff into the ocean in Greece. So yeah, Egypt or Greece would definitely be my first picks.
Is it a Mamma Mia moment? Not a Mamma Mia moment when you have 3 dads.
I mean, that's probably part of the Mamma Mia experience. I'm sure that my fiance would prefer that someday there's only one father to our children. But,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. Maybe that's just what happens when you go to Greece. I'm all here for the experience.
I mean, if it involved Colin Firth, I'd be down. Like, I'd love to meet Colin Firth.
You and me both, Tyler. You and me both. And if they could just sing to me, then maybe there would be 3 dads for
Was
my
this a
my future
book
children.
before a movie?
Mamma Mia?
Yeah.
No.
it was
play.
It was a
ABBA
play. Yeah,
song.
stage play.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stage play adapted from ABBA songs. Did you know how ABBA is?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. I was about to say we're going to have a moment here.
You're not gonna make it to the next episode.
He
Taylor.
actually might be lying about that because sometimes he just lies to save face.
I would sing, but I know how FCC rules and stuff
I
work.
know.
Fernando,
Mamma Mia, here I go again.
Yes, I know who
Okay,
ABBA
okay.
is.
Well, I think we were all concerned.
Dancing Queen. Yeah, I know.
Oh, dear Lord. Anyway, ABBA songs, they were what, like 60s, 70s?
Yeah,
Well, 70s, maybe into the 80s,
yeah.
but it's just such good music. And somehow they took all of these random songs, excuse my language, and melded them into this musical and then made a second movie also based off of all these other different ABBA songs. And they're working on a third with all new ABBA songs. So they have enough of these random weird songs that they can make a musical out of it, which I think is incredible.
The play was so much better than the movie.
You wouldn't know.
So you would go visit these places.
Yes.
What about like one place to live on Earth? Like where would you go live? And because you're Miss South Dakota, don't feel pressure to have to say like Fairburn.
Well, I grew up in tiny
Kennebec.
town, South
Sweat.
Dakota. I grew up in Martin, so it's sweat adjacent. No,
That's
if
what
I
this
could just
basement
live,
is. It's sweat adjacent.
Ew. Make sure I shower when I leave. If I could live anywhere, God, I don't know. Somebody else go first. I got to think about that. I mean, okay, actually, it's like
Wow.
I would. See, it
was-
just took me a
I
second.
got whiplash.
I would live on the west coast, the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
Go look for some
I was
cryptids.
gonna say Twilight vampires. I mean, I would love to live in like Europe or something
Yeah.
too,
I've
or
heard
whatever.
that
But
there's a lot of tourism around the Twilight movies.
oh, and I have been to Forks, Washington.
That's insane.
Yeah, that was a trip that we took when I graduated high school.
Do they have like a lot of good stuff set up around it, or is it just kind of like just see where it was shot?
I mean, so yes and no. Like, there's some shops and things. Well, yes, it was set in Forks, Washington. It wasn't really shot there.
Oh.
Like, it was, I think British Columbia was mostly where it was shot. So now I got to make a trip there. But like, we got to go to the Quileute Reservation, and they had a few things too. And there was a few scenes that were shot like on the coast and stuff. So we got to see those points. But it's very reminiscent of like South Dakota. You know, just with an ocean. Like, it really wasn't anything crazy. They had a couple of shops. I definitely purchased things and added to the local economy, but
How do you feel that they have taken a reservation and made it a tourist attraction?
Good for them.
hey,
I
bring
wish
on the money.
anybody would visit the Pine Ridge Reservation.
Okay, no. I have to bring up this movie from the 80s called The Renegades. And
Do you?
I have to. Lou Diamond Phillips plays Native guy. And he's from Pine Ridge, South Dakota. It's such a
They were ahead of the time.
bad movie, but awesome 80s action movie at the same time. So I don't know. If you want to check that out, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you want to get into 80s movies, that'll take us a whole other. I mean, we might be here till 11 o'clock at night, but
What is the worst food?
the worst food? Peas. Hate peas. Can't do them. I can choke them down now, but as a kid, no peas.
They're not
How can
Absolutely
you
not.
say peas when pickles exist?
Pickles are
What
fantastic.
are you
Peas make me want to throw
talking
up.
about, dude?
Peas are just mush.
What are
They don't
you
taste like anything
talking
good.
Have you ever had like a fresh pea? Like not a steamed
sure.
like
I
If
figured
you
out
go,
who we're
if you go
replacing.
grab, bye Tyler. If you just go grab like a pea out of the garden or like a sugar snap pea, sure, I'll
Yeah.
eat a sugar snap pea.
Yeah.
But like just a pea, you know, okay, grew up. My parents had me at 18 years old, you know, and we will openly admit that, you know,
They hated peas.
I mean, we didn't struggle. Well, no, they loved them because we had them. I swear to God, every night for dinner out of a can.
Oh,
Because
canned
that's-
peas. Canned peas are rough. Like
Oh,
you're
canned
right
peas
on
are-
that for
and
sure.
So they ruin. I mean, if you have to use them, I guess frozen is fine. No, peas are disgusting. And
But
pickles
every-
is a whole other
Every
issue, Tyler.
canned pea I would take above pickles.
pickles,
Pickles
dude.
are the
What
worst. They're terrible. You give me a bread and butter pickle, they're fine.
No, dill, dill, garlic dill,
absolutely
spicy
not.
dill, bread and butter.
No.
I can't. But the
When we bought this house, there was dill growing out behind the house. We almost had to burn the thing down, like the entire house. Probably
See,
would
I'm
have
the same
been
way with
a
peas.
better, like, sound
peas in the
economic
garden,
decision.
burn it down.
We have peas in that garden bed outside.
No,
by
burn
the
it
way,
down.
yeah.
This is the last
Peas are
episode.
not that good.
Peas are better, man.
And when I went to Britain, every time we would go anywhere,
Like Great Britain or Britain, South Dakota?
Great Britain. Every time we would get takeout, as the Brits say, one of the sides was mashed peas, and it was not. There wasn't
God.
like you'd think like since it's so iconic for them, they would have like some spice blend for it, but it was literally just they boiled some peas and just
All right, show's done. I gotta go throw up.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, the British Empire went, like, expanded around the world to get spices, and then they don't use them.
But neither do Americans.
Great
Well, okay,
insight,
so
90s
Okay,
comic.
like white Americans don't use them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you consider being on this podcast rock bottom?
He said, yeah.
No, rock bottom would be taking Sheldon's job.
Yeah, I can see that.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I'm hanging out in a basement with 3 dudes.
Yeah.
Not rock bottom at all.
Yeah,
No,
definitely not.
no.
Yeah.
All right.
If anybody else has a podcast opportunity, my name is Miranda O'Brien. You can contact me at.
She'll apparently take anything.
This is just a stepping stone, I promise.
Yeah. We got a nice little. I got a series of questions here we're gonna be putting together for you.
Oh,
And it's gonna be about you having to be Miss South Dakota.
okay.
Having to be.
Yeah, it was not a choice. It was a detriment. Ugh, so
you-
terrible.
It's exactly like the Hunger Games. They just draw you out and go,
Oh.
yeah, you're now doing a pageant.
As hard as I worked for that stuff, I tell you.
So obviously we all know a lot about pageants.
Of course. I mean, you all were some sort of queen of some sort.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get called Queen often. And
It's your comedy name, right? Your stage name.
so you did this for several years.
Yes.
What's the entrances to that look like? Because you can just say, you just like declare it.
What? I mean, sure, but I guess you could just say I'm a pageant queen. I mean, who's gonna tell you you're wrong? So Miss America is the original. Like any other competition, there's Miss USA, there's Miss International Miss, there's National American Miss. There's a gajillion things that you can do. Everybody can find their niche. But Miss America was the original. So it's 103 years old, just celebrated its 103rd birthday. And it's evolved over the years, scholarships, it had swimsuit for a time, it doesn't anymore, social initiatives, there's just a whole slew of, I think, incredible things to empower women. But when I was a freshman in college, a good friend of mine who was on the Hobo Day committee with me, because I went to South Dakota State University, go Jacks, she competed for our local competition at SDSU, so Miss SDSU. And I just remember thinking Miranda, funny enough, her name was also Miranda, is this super tall woman. She's not, she wasn't the stereotype that I had in my head. She's beautiful. She's accomplished. Of course, why wouldn't she win? But I didn't know what it meant to compete in this. So I had this idea in my head, I'm going to break the stereotype. I'm going to be the one that's different. It wasn't me. It'd been happening far before I even touched the stage. I just got to, maybe continue that, maybe help, open the door for other women who deserve that opportunity too. So I tried a local competition, and my parents drove all the way out to SDSU, all the way out to Brookings to watch. I lost terribly. I was horrible. I was absolutely terrible. I was shaking.
What's the skill set here?
So you have to compete in multiple areas. There's a private interview. So kind of like this, you're in a room with random people that you don't know, basically, and they ask you questions. Tyler has been a judge, so he can attest to that. But you can ask literally anything, right? You can ask what your favorite
It's
color
very
is.
dangerous, yeah, for sure.
It
yeah.
is, which is why something like this does not bother me in the slightest or worry me at all. So a private interview, then you have to do an on-stage interview. And it's adjusted over the years. When I started, we did swimsuit. Now they do fitness. There's an evening gown portion. We used to have a social initiative pitch, which is kind of like a mini TED Talk on stage. And talent. Talent is the quintessential Miss America thing. I choose to sing. And the first time I did it, I was profusely sweating and shaking. You could tell it was just bad. My parents came up to me afterwards and they were like, "Oh, it's okay. You tried it. You did so good. You don't have to do it ever again." I have to do it again because I have to win. If that tells you anything about who I am as a person, very competitive with myself. But yeah, just that's how you do it. You kind of decide if you want to sign up for a local competition, you give it a shot, and you either fall in love with it, bit by the pageant bug, as we say, and you keep doing it, or, it's a one-time thing and that's it. But I do think it's something that everybody should try. Not everybody can do a Miss America competition. Sorry, gentlemen. But something along those lines. You do comedy, you get on stage, Tyler Sheldon. I'm sorry, I don't know what you do.
We're all comedians. Yeah.
But, to put yourself out there and allow yourself to, be judged, but not necessarily care about that, just to grow yourself, I think is really cool. So long story short, that's how I got into it. I wanted a sparkly crown and I wanted to break a stereotype, and it became so much more than either of those things.
What was your first title?
I was Miss Missouri Valley. I was Miss Missouri Valley, Miss SDSU, Miss Rolling Plains for 2 years because of the pandemic, Miss State Fair, and then to round things out, I won the same local competition that I won my very first year. They just changed the name a little bit, and I was Miss Missouri River when I was crowned Miss South Dakota. So, yeah.
Yeah.
My first attempt at stand-up should have been my last one.
Hey, you gave it a try.
Is there like a Miss like Rapid City?
There is, yeah.
Is?
Yeah, there
Okay.
is a Miss Rapid City. We're always looking for judges. Yeah, there's Miss Rapid City. Like, there's a Miss Hot Springs. I'm the director for that. There's a Miss Sioux Falls, Miss SDSU, Miss USD, like all sorts of things. There's some more obscure titles like Miss Rolling Plains, which my brothers were like, it'd be so funny if you just went and rolled around on the hills of South Dakota and put that on social media just with like no context. But that's what your title means, right?
Yeah. Miss Balloon Festival. What was the
Miss Fall River Balloon Festival.
Fall River Balloon Festival? Miss
Yep.
Fall River.
So there's
Balloon
lots of
Festival.
entry points into this.
Yeah, we have. So, I mean, South Dakota's probably like on the small to medium size. Like, we've had 20 women compete for the title of Miss South Dakota on the Miss South Dakota stage. Of course, there's more that compete at the local level. But we're not like Texas has like 100 women that win these local titles to go on to Miss Texas. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people.
I guess that was one of my questions that I did write. Is like how do you is it like an application process or like I mean you kind of answered the
We
question.
just show up.
I mean,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, that
well,
was the
you,
question,
like,
yeah.
you sign up. Yeah,
Oh,
you,
yeah.
there's like, I mean, you go online, missamerica.org, and like you fill out the thing and whatever, and it's, I mean, there's nothing that excludes you other than wherever you're going to compete, whatever state you're going to compete in, you have to claim residency somehow. So you either have to live there, go to school there, or work there, and that's basically it. And you say, I'm going to apply or I'm going to compete at this competition, and you pay like the local fee, you fundraise the money for the American Heart Association, and then you do the thing. It's pretty easy.
Has there ever been like an Air Bud situation, like where a dog shows up and they put a dress on the dog and it's like, well, the rules don't say a dog can't compete.
So I think the rules say that you must be a human being. I don't think we could have a dog compete. I'm thankful that we can't, because I still would be competing for Miss South Dakota. They'd beat me every time. My dog Millie, just a golden retriever, put a dress on her, she'd kick everybody's butts.
You kind of answered this one, but what's a big misconception people have about it? I mean, obviously the first one that people are going to is like a beauty,
Yeah.
or it's very superficial, but is there like other stuff kind of as well?
I mean, I think that's like the biggest one, of course, is that, it's just about what's on the outside. And sure, I mean, I guess that's a helpful piece. I mean, that's what we all see first. But there's so much more to who you are as a person. I mean, there's so much more to who I am as a person. I'm kind of a weirdo. I love horror. I love true crime. I love to bake. I'm obsessed with my cat. Like, there's so many pieces of me that you don't see when you just look at me. You might think, pageant girl. But there's so much more than that. And I think that's the thing that I really loved about Miss America is it started as a beauty pageant. It did. It started as that idea of, just what are you presenting outward? It had swimsuit. Eventually they brought in evening gown. I probably should know this, but they didn't bring an interview until later, or at least interview that was really substantial to like the winning process until a lot later into the competition. So it's just cool to see that women have helped drive that forward. We want to be more. We want you to see that we're more than just what's on the surface. We want you to know that we're multifaceted people, just like anybody is. It doesn't matter that we choose to compete on a stage. It doesn't matter that we choose to put on a pretty dress or we used to choose to put on a swimsuit. Those are fun things, but also let me tell you about the advocacy work that I do. Let me tell you about my education. I'm going to Harvard. And I'm going to Harvard right now online because of Miss America and because of Miss South Dakota, because of the scholarships I won, and because that helped. I mean, I knew it before, but it really helped me realize that I can do anything. Even if I'd never won Miss South Dakota, still got on that stage and I still competed for that. I still grew as a person. I mean, super serious. A little bit of a change from the beginning of the show, but
No, it's good.
yeah.
Well, even like 10, 15 years ago, the like image meme thing about pageant queens was like
I think
world peace, or whatever.
The last probably 10 to 20 years, especially probably the last 10 years, is I would say really changed that. But I mean, I was the 76th Miss South Dakota, and all of those women who came before me, I know a handful of them. I'm lucky enough to call them my friends. And they, while they still were maybe in that sort of like just outward beauty time frame, they still did so much for their communities. I mean, a woman here in Rapid City, Sarah Frankenstein, she is a lawyer. She's an incredible woman. She won in 1998, which, funny enough, my mom was going to compete. She wanted to give it a try. She said, I'm going to try a local competition for Miss South Dakota, but found out she was pregnant with me. So she couldn't do it. Miss South Dakota, you can't be married, can't have had a child. And so we joke that I was the piece of her that wanted to do that. She'd never really had a desire to before, but then there was just this thing that said, why don't I give that a try? So all incredible women. I got off on a tangent. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know where we
Well, no, it was just it was just more evidence that even because like in '98 that would still be in that time frame of like you think of them as floaty, ditzy people
until Sandra Bullock pulled a Jackie Robinson and busted it wide open.
A good movie, and that I mean, hey, Miss Congeniality was like my only. I'd never watched Miss America, like I don't think ever, or Miss USA or anything. I watched Miss Congeniality. Sandra Bullock, if she walked in right now and said, Miranda, you're coming to live with me and you're going to be my personal assistant or my slave, I don't know, whatever she wants, I'd say, yes, ma'am. I love Sandra Bullock. She's incredible. She's beautiful. She's a great actress. Big fan. Loved Miss Congeniality. And I'm like, I'm going to be Miss New Jersey.
I love watching 90s movies where they try to convince you. They put Sandra Bullock on the screen. They're like, oh, yeah, by the way, she's ugly, right? Like, don't we all think... Like, they try to convince you that she's ugly in these movies. And it's so weird.
Garofalo in, like, 90s sitcoms. It's like... Or Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, she's the weirdo. And it's like, no,
she's beautiful. She's, absolutely gorgeous.
Stunning.
Yes.
Take off the glasses. Brush the hair.
Yeah.
I kind of had to do that, too.
Well, we heard about what you looked like earlier, so that makes
Comb
sense.
out the scene hair.
Yes, get rid of the thick-rimmed glasses, pop in some contacts, take out the braces. Yeah, learn to walk in a pair of heels.
Community service is a big thing.
Yes.
Big part of it. What was your main community service push? What are you about?
So I started with adoption awareness. I was adopted at 19 years old, changed my name at 18. Kind of a unique story there, but that's what I started with. But I learned that was maybe a little too niche. It was like hard to talk to kids about that specifically. And that's kind of, I think, one of the coolest jobs of Miss South Dakota is you get to connect with so many people and you get to really show kids. I mean, when somebody walks in with a crown on, oh my God, it's a real life princess and she likes this thing, whatever that thing may be. And adoption was hard for them to understand. So I switched to literacy. That's kind of how page turners came about and how I really found my passion for being a literacy advocate, is I knew that was a way to connect with anyone. Whether you were 3 years old or you were 93 years old, you could connect to a book. And if you couldn't, then I could help you do that, because I truly believe that there is something for everybody. Like, even if you're like, I'm not a reader, I've never found anything I like, and you haven't read enough. You haven't found that, because there is something that I think is going to spark that passion for you, or it's going to make you want to learn, about another culture or whatever it may be. Books really just open up your world. And I think especially today, we get so trapped in our little corner, our little box, and people aren't willing to step outside of that. And books are an easy and attainable way to begin that process. So that was my thing, literacy advocacy. I'm a big book girl. Yeah.
Big book girl, except for when it comes to Harry Potter. Can't do that.
I know, it's controversial. I'm going to read it. I am. It's on my list. They're on my shelf. I know,
it's
air
not
quotes.
That good. Just watch the movies.
I know. I've seen the movies. I know everything. Sheldon,
But
someday.
You haven't read the books yet either, though, right?
I didn't watch the movies either.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Sheldon's just being contrarian.
So
someday.
I was no. Yours is more important. Go ahead.
So adoption and litters, these are your two. So there's an orphanage on fire and a library on fire. You have one bucket of water. What do you save?
Well, I can tell you right now, having my entire family being volunteer firefighters, that one bucket isn't going to do anything.
Well, this bucket's it's pretty big.
It's a large bucket.
Yeah.
I would say, the logical side of me says, of course, I mean, always the kids. Like, I'm going to say the kids, save the kids. But also, it's still going to be the kids because the bucket of water, I mean, once those books catch on fire, I mean, they're up in flame, but what are you going to do? You just, you find another book, but you're not going to find another kid. And that was the best part about Miss South Dakota is like the kids, like those are the moments that I will never forget, right? Probably like 2 weeks before the end of my reign, I went on a school visit and, we'd give high fives or hugs if the kids wanted hugs at the end of the presentation. And this little boy, he ran up to me and he just gave me the biggest hug. And he's like, I will miss you. And it was like almost instant tears for me because I said to myself and later, no, I'm going to miss you. Like, you don't understand what this has done for me, the impact that I feel I've been able to make on little kids. I didn't see a Miss South Dakota, but I had so many people that inspired me. And if I could do that for a little kid, if I could do that for a little kid in a small town like where I grew up, that means more to me than anything. So I'd save the kids. So I can find another book. I can print another book. I'm my own author. So save the kids. Use the large bucket of water on them.
You heard it here. I can't talk today. You heard it here first. Miranda O'Brien, pro-destruction of the library at Alexandria.
She advocates for book burning.
Yeah.
Oh, God, please don't say that. Oh, man. How long are we going to be here?
Hey, you fit in
That's a
well
whole
around
other
here
topic.
like that,
Oh,
Yeah.
Pro book burning.
We don't burn books.
Wow, you really
it
can't even let me get to it. All right.
If you had a shotgun, you walked into a gravel pit.
No.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Flip it over.
Now this one's dumb. I don't know.
Yeah, it is
You
dumb.
already answered it, basically. We're not going to do that one.
What was the question?
He wants to be Mr. South Dakota.
Well, okay, there is a Mr. South Dakota. There is
Yeah, pick
one
that question back
one
up.
and only Mr. South Dakota, and I'm sorry, Sheldon, it is not you. His name was Ray Peterson. And it's funny that you asked that. He actually just passed away, which is really unfortunate. Incredible man. He was dubbed the Mr. South Dakota. He's in the South Dakota Hall of Fame as Mr. South Dakota because he dedicated like more than 50 years of his life to the organization, to the production. Really incredible man. So I'm sorry, I don't know that you would ever be able to live up to the title.
If you're going to be Mr. South Dakota, you got to be on Mount Rushmore, though, right? Like, they've got to put him on Mount Rushmore.
I think
that's what we're known for.
Ray Peterson on the face of Mount Rushmore would be pretty incredible.
Just get, like, Roosevelt off of there or something,
No, I don't want to be Mr. South Dakota. Actually, the question was, who is Mr. South Dakota? Or can there be a Mr. South Dakota? Well, you answered the whole question.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I always tell kids when they ask, they'd be like, can I be Mr. South Dakota? And I'm like, I don't know, make your own competition someday. You can do anything you want. You want to be Mr. South Dakota? You can find a way to be Mr. South Dakota.
When you first asked that, I thought you were, like, hitting on her. Like, can I be Mr. South Dakota?
I can't even begin to tell you how many.
Hold on, give me that sheet of paper.
You will be not the last in a long list of people. I had small children all the way up to high schoolers ask me out on dates, ask if they could marry me, tell me they loved me. My poor fiance was not the first to propose to me by a long shot. First with a ring, a real ring. I will say a real ring. I did have a kid make me a paper ring once.
Oh.
It was cute, and I had to turn her down, but it was sweet. It was.
You had to turn her down.
I did. I had to turn her down.
All right.
Very progressive.
It
yeah.
is, and I'm all for it. My heart was already taken. I was just waiting for
You're all
the
for
ring on my
marrying
finger.
children?
Yes,
Is that what you said?
That's what I said.
Okay, all right. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
so
as
I
long
just
as
wanted to,
we're clarifying.
Ray's
No.
gonna hate this podcast.
No.
Ray's gonna hate this
No.
episode.
I am not for marrying children.
I think
What can't you do as Miss South Dakota? I mean,
How many-
other than obvious things, but
Well, I mean, you can do a lot as Miss South Dakota.
how many extra judicial killings do you get?
I wasn't given that opportunity. I'm afraid.
How did you end up selling LASIK as Miss South Dakota?
Yeah,
Reading.
Yeah, reading. No, I mean, I was a glasses gal for a long time. Clearly, we talked about that in middle school. No, I was not even thinking about LASIK surgery. That's terrifying. I don't want anybody touching my eyeballs. I don't even want to touch my own eyeballs. But somebody I know that did the marketing for Black Hills Eye Institute was like, hey, we've been looking for somebody to be the face of LASIK. Do you want to do that? And I said, I mean, I guess. What does that mean? And they were like, oh, free LASIK surgeon. I'm like, no, I don't have to spend like $5,000, $6,000 per eye. Yeah, let's see if I'm a candidate. And I was, and then I got to see my face on a billboard. So I'm not mad about that.
Could you see it?
Yes. I'm gonna butcher this, but better than 20/20 vision now, which is crazy.
Hey.
Yeah. So everybody, shout out.
They gave
Vital
her
Science Institute.
supervision.
I'm a superhero now.
What would be Miss South Dakota's superpower?
Vision. I don't know.
Yeah, we just discussed
vision.
this.
We just went over it, dude.
Perfect vision, man. I don't know what do you mean? What's your superpower? I feel like teleportation.
Just get out of South Dakota.
No, so you could get to places faster. I don't know.
It'd be nice to have teleportation in South Dakota because it's like
It's
there's a
such
couple
long
places you want to
drive.
go, but like
Yeah.
there's so much time in between those places, and
yeah.
you're like,
There's
well,
so many fair burns between it.
Actually, you don't
Britons.
have to answer this personally. You can just say yes or no for the bigger question.
Okay.
Can you or is it looked down upon or whatever if you advocated for like guns or something in South Dakota?
No, I mean you can. So every woman who competes has a community service initiative or a social impact initiative. It used to be called a platform. And I guess the beauty of that is you have the ability to advocate for whatever you want. I am a strong believer in whatever you choose. Make sure that you do your research on it. Make sure that you know what you're talking about. It's not just opinion. I mean, have your opinion, but have that backed up by research. So whatever it is, I mean, you have the ability in the platform that is the Miss South Dakota stage to speak to that. Which, I...
Like you in book burning.
Yeah, like me with book burning. I got on the Miss South Dakota stage and I said, no more books, and they crowned me on the spot. No,
they just started
not.
cheering.
Oh, yeah, it was erupted with cheers.
They elected you governor.
They stopped the competition. They said, she has won. Almighty Miss South Dakota, never another one. No, oh God, no. But yeah, you can do anything. I mean, really.
Somebody's gonna clip that.
I'm concerned.
It's
Why
gonna
did I
be me.
choose to do this? Tyler, I'll sue you for defamation, libel.
there's
But
probably
is
a lot
it
of
defamation if you say it about yourself?
No, yeah, it is.
there's probably
Yeah.
a lot of social pressure on what you choose, though, right? Like, there's a lot of people like.
I mean, I would say so.
Is there like a driving committee that's like you go to and be like, is this a good idea?
No, there's not. Like, there are people who will help you. I mean, I had forever Miss South Dakotas and friends, and I'm one of my best friends who I'm doing the podcast with help me, and they'll kind of guide you. I mean, because ultimately at the end of the day, you have to be able to like get on a podcast or get on a national stage. I mean, I went on the Miss America stage and talked about being a literacy advocate. So whatever it is that you're going to talk about, you need to have comfortability in being able to speak to that. And in our world, there's, a lot of controversy, and a lot of people will pick controversy out of whatever it is that you say. So like it started with adoption, and the overarching concept that always came out of that, the conversation that I could never necessarily get away from, was abortion, because it's a hot button topic. And so I knew that, well, yes, I could speak to that. I didn't want that to be all that I ever spoke to. So that's part of the reason that I changed to literacy, because I could still talk about adoption through literacy and through books. So I think it's just, you have to find what you're comfortable speaking about, and you have to be willing to do the research on it to make sure you know what you're speaking about.
It's not a lot of plastic in advocating for like forever chemicals or.
I mean, probably not. There are thousands of women who compete all across the country. Again, you could pick whatever you want. If you feel strongly enough, you got your research for it, I'm sure that you could.
No, advocating for it. Like,
No,
you want more microplastics.
No, I know what you're saying.
In
Yeah.
human body.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
Actually,
teach their own.
In all your
Ingest what you want.
In all your competing, what was like who? You don't have to call them out by name, but like who was like had the weirdest like I'm advocating for this subject.
Miss America last year, Grace Stanky, she's from Wisconsin, Midwest girl. Hers was advocating for nuclear energy. And she was a nuclear physicist or engineer or something. I don't know, something far over my head. I'm a journalist for a reason. But hers was really unique. And then she won Miss America, and people were like, whoa, again, another example of this ability to be a quote unquote pageant girl, but also so much more than that. So that's probably like maybe one of the more unique ones. But we had a woman from Miss South Dakota who hers was advocating for sign language and for the deaf community. Recycling, which is like not anything crazy or different. Financial literacy, like they run the gamut. But it's really anything.
What about the like most unique talent that somebody brought? Like, Anybody like
What was your
juggling
talent?
swords?
I'm a
or-
singer.
Oh.
So not anything crazy. Yeah.
Just sing Weezer.
No, I sang a Taylor Swift song. Actually, that's what won me Miss South Dakota. I did a jazz rendition of Blank Space. So Taylor Swift, but make it jazzy, which was kind of fun.
Is there a recording of this somewhere?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. There is. Yes.
Is this going to be played at the company Christmas party? Is what I'm hearing.
Does it have to be? I'll sing it. I still know it. I know that thing like the back
She's
of my
not
hand.
embarrassed about this at
No.
all.
No,
You can't
no.
embarrass this person.
No, I've done a lot of things, so you can't embarrass me for much. Weirdest talent. One of my good friends from Miss America was a speed painter, so she speed painted Michael Jackson, and then won like the
Like she
talent
got him on
preliminary
stage,
award.
and what did she paint on
She
him?
pulled him out of the grave.
Wow, yeah.
And painted his bones.
Bold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, on a canvas, Tyler, on a
Oh,
canvas.
okay.
That was pretty cool. We had like an aerialist, somebody doing. I don't know the terminology, but like things in the air. That was incredible. You can't do anything with like fire.
Someone just flying. So like
It was
and you're
Miss
like,
Maine. That was her
wow.
superpower. She can fly. I
You're
have perfect
underselling
vision.
it. You're just like, it was fine. It
Miss
flew.
South Dakota has perfect vision. Miss Maine
I
can fly.
sang Taylor Swift. She broke the sound barrier.
And there's a reason she won the talent award and I didn't.
All right.
But no, I didn't sing Weezer. Maybe next time.
I don't think you can win talent portions by
I think you
singing
can.
Weezer.
I think you can.
The
We'll find
sweater
a
song.
That
Beverly
doesn't
Hills,
require
man.
talent, but anyway.
Okay.
Poor Weezer. I hope they listen to this. I love you. They don't, but I do.
No, Tyler loves
It
Weezer.
would. There's a good possibility Rivers Cuomo somehow just listens to this podcast. He's a weird dude.
Weezer, if you have a podcast, my name is Miranda O'Bryan. My number is.
All right. So another big part of it, spooky season's coming up. This is going to
Yes.
land in the middle of spooky season.
Oh,
And it's going to be perfect.
Maybe.
We're going to bust out our pumpkin spice lattes,
Oh, yeah.
enjoy the sweater weather. You like horror movies.
Oh, yes.
What's your favorite horror movie?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 3D one that came out in like 2014, because it's a family-friendly movie. Because at the end, they realize the familial connection, the love they have for each other, and then they go on to murder people together.
I don't know if the love they have for each other in most Texas Chainsaw movies is exactly right.
Damn it. I
No,
thought,
that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Gremlins, which is like, not really horror, but I mean, it was.
It's kind of scary.
That was my first like horror movie that I remember. My mom doesn't like horror, but my dad does. So we watched a lot of scary movies together. And that was the first one that I think she approved of, like, sure, you can let her, watch a scary movie and get into that. But I don't know if I've ever admitted this to them. Gremlins may have been the first one I watched at home, but I was at a birthday party around Halloween in like the second grade, and we watched not The Mist, The Happening. You guys seen The Happening?
Yeah, there's an event happening.
Things might happen.
It's
that
the
was
happening.
Mark, is that
Mark Wahlberg.
Okay,
It's
all
M.
right,
Night Shyamalan, and there's something
Yeah.
happening.
Okay.
It like scared the crap out of me. There's all these girls who are sleep over like in somebody's basement like we are now, and everybody has fallen asleep, but not me. Like I'm wide-eyed, like, oh my God. Absolutely
Wait,
horrified.
I have to make sure. Mark Wahlberg and Zoe Deschanel, right? That one?
Is Zoe Deschanel in that movie?
Yes.
That
No
one?
way.
Okay, all right.
We've already said yes.
Okay,
I-
I know. I've got to
Well, I've
make
gotta
sure I
watch
have the
that
right
again.
movie.
Is Zoe Deschanel in that? Yeah. And then there's a little kid. Yeah. See, I clearly haven't seen it for a long time because it scared the crap out of me. But
Yeah,
Okay.
he likes Zoe Deschanel. Anything Zoe
New
Deschanel.
Girl,
He doesn't
I
like
do
New
not
Girl.
like it. I was gonna.
get out. Why do you employ him?
He just kind of was around when we were talking about doing a
Oh my
podcast.
God.
When you said Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I thought you were gonna say the original one, and I was like, oh my god, that's like a great choice from all the
Oh.
guests we've ever had.
Also, yes.
Yeah.
Love the originals. I am getting married on Friday the 13th
Yeah.
and may or may not have plans for a Jason Voorhees somewhere in the ceremony. No, I mean, and especially anything like 70s, 80s, like, I mean, that set the stage for what we have now. So I'll get home from working a shift at the TV station, and that's what I throw on is like some sort of scary movie, whether it's new, old, whatever it may be. But no, I always pull out the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre because people are like, what?
We gotta go around. What's your favorite horror movie?
Tyler likes vanilla. He doesn't like horror movies.
Vanilla Sky.
It is pretty horrible. I mean,
Vanilla Sky's awesome.
You would say that.
It's cool.
does Scream count?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it counts.
Absolutely.
Scream's a great movie. Like, it may not be the
Sydney.
best like horror movie, but it's a great movie.
It
Like,
was
it's
quintessential.
really good.
I mean,
Yeah.
it changed the game. There was
Yeah.
a lull there. I mean, I listen to all sorts of scary movie podcasts. That's what I do at 3 a.m. at the TV station. Nobody walk up behind me. I'll probably punch you in the face. But it changed the game for scary movies. Like, it revived it. It
Yeah.
made a big difference in horror
And-
culture.
The first Saw movie is wonderful. Remove the other 6, I don't care about them. But the first Saw movie is excellent.
Love the gore.
Yeah. Well, and the first one doesn't have much gore.
No, but it's still good.
It's the
When
best
he saws
because
off his
like
leg.
it's very like it's a psychological thriller at the the end of it.
House is a old horror movie, and it's scary because it's really dreamlike,
Ooh.
and there's just lots of like really surreal things happening. But it's also really funny because of that. Like, there's just lots of like funny stuff happening, but all the characters are freaking out because they're in a house and being haunted by a ghost.
That's cool. Mine is Evil Dead, the original one, but it's tied with The Witch from 2016. So very different ends of the spectrum. I don't even know if that's a horror movie, but I'd consider it to be one. So
Which one did you just question if it was a horror movie?
The Witch,
Like with the V's.
yeah.
Why would that not be a scary
That new
movie?
very scary movie. That
Yeah,
new very scary movie.
What?
I
Why would that not be a
mean,
scary
no one's
movie?
like sitting there going like the family comedy.
Yeah.
Right. The love
mean,
story.
that's
Like
just-
It's a
Texas Chainsaw
rom-com
Massacre.
at the end of the day, really, if you think about it. Yeah.
Like the one that's set in like colonial times.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he
Yeah.
had the same question about Scream, and that I
Like, that's
consider that a
okay.
horror
But
movie.
But
Scream
it's
is-
also kind of a comedy. Like at the
Yeah,
same
which is
time.
not also like funny.
Yeah.
Like,
You didn't find it funny?
Scream.
It's not a subversion of the genre. It is the
It
genre.
is the genre. It is horror. I was
Okay.
like, is there a movie I haven't seen?
Yeah.
What is this one?
Witch, the movie about the 13-year-old boy who,
Yeah,
figures
yeah.
out he's a witch, you
Yeah.
know?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
Okay, in the vein of horror movies, it's not scary at all. It was a Disney movie. I know you guys are a little bit older than me, but you ever watch The Little Vampire?
I remember.
Oh, I've seen
Like,
the poster
what's his
of
name?
it.
Lipnicki?
Yeah,
He was a
Jonathan
little- Yeah,
Lipnicki.
Jonathan Lipnicki. No,
Uh,
I watched that a lot as a kid, and I feel like that really like sparked some of my love for
think
that.
my
But
little
it's
brother
it's
watched
disappointing that you guys don't know what that is.
Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire
Ooh, that's
was
a good
another
one.
one there. It's got the dad from The Nanny in it. He's the vampire, which fits him well, for sure.
Hmm.
Halloween Town, of course. If we're talking like Disney style. Yeah.
Halloween Town, Twitches,
Mm.
love all the Halloween Towns. Scary Godmother. Does anybody know what that is?
Yeah.
Thank you
It's
for that not being just like something I created
It's
in
the
my head.
ugliest cartoon
Oh,
I've
it's
ever
horrible.
seen.
It's so bad. But I remember, I couldn't get enough of that stuff. Like
There was
in
a
October.
lot of them.
Yeah,
Like,
there
they
were like
made-
4 or
they
5 or
made
something. Yeah, but I watched them all and I waited all year long.
Oh,
Because that was before like
let me see
Netflix and all the things. And so, yeah, I don't even
This
think you
looks
can find it on.
terrifying.
I want to see it.
What is this?
You
Yeah.
gotta watch it, man.
It's a.
Everybody watched Scary Godmother,
Oh.
so it's not just me and Tyler
those 2000s graphics.
I was gonna
so
say,
good.
it's
so
like-
good.
Did you guys ever see the TV show Reboot?
Uh-uh.
No. Okay. All right.
Just you.
It's like the first CGI show ever. It was made in Canada. And growing up, it was like this cool show about like, it's all these like characters are inside a computer and they're like trying to save the inside of the computer from all these viruses and stuff.
That sounds
Okay.
like that. Like, what was that show with the kids who went to a boarding school and then they would send themselves into a video game?
Code Lyoko.
Yeah, Code
Yeah.
Lyoko. That's
Yeah,
that's
similar
kinda what that reminds
vibes.
me
Yeah,
of.
for sure. So it's
No.
like that.
They-
But
we
the
should-
animation.
Also very ugly.
Yeah. The animation is just so horrendous. It's exactly like this. Like,
so good.
yeah.
That's why I like
love
that show, But Ugly Martians. I don't know
No.
if you guys remember that. It was in that same time period, and it was ugly aliens, and I was like, they know what they got.
I mean,
like,
hey,
they get what they're capable of animating.
Yeah.
I love that animation set. It's like Courage the Cowardly Dog. All of that stuff.
Oh.
It's terrible. It's so good.
There were some terrifying
Those
like
were horrifying
visuals.
shows.
Oh gosh.
But
Yeah.
I lived for it. Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Give me my
Courage
Lucky
the
Charms and
Cowardly
Courage the
They had
Cowardly
some of
Dog.
the just most terrifying visual moments I've ever seen in a cartoon.
Yeah.
And they're just like upsetting and unsettling
Yeah.
more than anything else. But then they had some
And
great
that's
episodes.
why Miranda needs a therapist.
I gotta tell you about this movie called Begotten.
Oh, no.
No.
No. No.
We're not talking about that.
It's a different kind of horror.
Don't
The kind of
watch
horror
it.
that at the end of it, you just want to claw your own eyes out.
So
Well,
like the
you
Human
fall asleep.
Centipede.
No,
No.
a human centipede is preferable.
No.
Yeah.
Begotten is fun to talk about, but watching it is actually not fun. It's boring.
It's very boring. There's just one scene in there that's like so bizarre.
So just look up the one scene.
Yeah.
YouTube it.
Yeah, YouTube.
Don't.
No,
YouTube.
do not.
You
no.
go home.
Yeah.
YouTube Begotten. It's like
Mm.
it's like the first video. It's like the scene
Yeah.
from
Okay.
Begotten.
I used to have an 800 credit score until he showed me that scene, and now
I'm
I
working
live
on mine. I
in
better
here.
not. Now I'm doing a podcast in my basement with
Yeah.
you guys.
Uh-huh. I
All
used
right.
to have dreams.
Oh no, I'm not adding that to my list.
Oh, you had a
I
game,
paid to
right?
talk.
Yeah.
You had a horror game. Okay, I'll do your
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that real quick.
Ooh, is
So-
this like, am I going to be murdered by?
No.
The last
no.
one was a Bible quotes game, so who knows what he's coming up
Yeah.
with.
So,
Who was your guest?
well, that wasn't the last game. That was
It
a
wasn't
game
the
that we
guy who
played.
knows the Bible,
No.
by the way.
Oh.
No. It just seemed like they were all on a level playing field. It was just, yeah. So this is,
Who's your last guess? That's exactly what I was thinking as it was happening.
oh, that's right. So, we're going to test how well that you, and by extension, you guys, know your horror movie. Because,
Sweating.
have you guys heard of the subreddit, explain a film plot badly?
No.
No, what's it about?
People explain a film plot badly, and you have to guess what movie it is. So it's that, but all horror movies.
So where's the buzzer?
Yeah, I think absolutely just raise your hand
Could we
for
just
sure.
slam
yeah.
on the table?
I'm
All right.
competitive. Watch out.
So, like, two men attempt to remodel a dilapidated bathroom while a third sleeps on the job.
Mouse Hunt.
I was going to say 2 men, 1 bathroom. Say it one more time.
Yeah, say that.
Two men attempt to remodel a dilapidated bathroom while a third sleeps on the job.
Well, this would be Saw, right?
It's Saw. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the remodel. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I guess he's not dead. I guess he's asleep.
You gotta edit a little animation for the points.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There we go.
You don't edit animations on the things that are getting cut.
Teenagers in a cabin learn the dangers of reading.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
2.
Haven't seen that one.
All the teenagers are dead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be really ashamed of myself if I don't get any of these, but these are bad.
Dumb kid drowns. Mom is pretty pissed.
Jason
Jason
Voorhees.
Voorhees, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. She
Gotta
got
be.
one.
Yeah.
Like-
I love how you both said Jason Voorhees, which has never been a name of any
But
of
it's
the
his
movies.
name.
It is.
Spooky janitor finally gets even with those meddling kids.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah, that's a horror movie.
The Freddy movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th.
No. Dreams. What is it called? Oh my god, I just
Jason-
watched it.
Jason
Not
Freddy-
dreams, but
Freddy got fingered.
like the bad
I mean,
dreams.
it's Freddy Krueger. Yeah. What do you?
What do you call
Nightmare
it?
on Elm Street.
There we
My
go.
God.
All right, yeah.
I'm like, what? Bad dreams. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Determined young man seeks to reunite with his long lost sister while impersonating William Shatner.
Oh, Halloween.
Halloween. I love how Tyler's just like boom, 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 boom.
These are easy.
Give him a
Tell that to them.
Hey, I've been up for too many
All right.
hours.
Okay, you guys want an easy one?
No.
A very generous clown shows 7 kids the meaning of friendship. It. Correct.
Great movie. Great
Okay,
book.
do one like real obscure one.
Yeah, something weird.
Oh.
So I was like,
let's
I don't even know
see.
what this movie is.
I don't know if this is obscure. Space trucking beekeepers freak out after one of them loses his lunch.
Jeepers Creeper. It's the only spacey thing I can think of. Or like,
Jeepers Creepers is
I
spacey.
don't know, it comes out of the sky.
I have no idea.
I don't know, one of the
Mars Attacks.
Alien.
Alien is
Alien,
correct.
yeah.
What's the lunch?
Like, burst
Oh
out of
yeah,
it.
I guess that is static.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so this one's just for you then, because it is more obscure, but it's also definitely a movie
I'm
you've
gonna know
seen
this
for
one.
sure.
Yeah.
All right. Teenagers learn about the horrors of STDs.
The following, or It Follows.
Of course, you know
Yeah,
that one
It Follows.
immediately.
Great
yeah.
movie.
It's a great movie.
I was
yeah.
gonna say
Yeah.
It
teeth,
Follows.
but
I was gonna say teeth. I was gonna say teeth too.
That could fit for that as well.
Yeah.
okay, one more.
One
okay,
more.
how-
Okay,
that
all
was-
right. So this lady gets screwed over by religious people, loses custody of her kid, and it totally has its father's eyes.
The Omen.
It's close. Yeah, it's a different one, but in that vein.
The Exorcist.
The Last Omen.
Not in that same franchise, just in that same...
Rosemary's Baby.
Yes, Rosemary's Baby.
Mm.
Yeah.
Never seen it. I've never seen a lot of these movies.
I just play trivia where I'm able to pull them out if I have to.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, this whole section's getting cut, but it's fine, you know?
I don't know. It made me look good. Keep it
I got 2, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just keep yours and then...
Oh,
just call
perfect.
it-
Cut
yeah,
everybody else's
yeah,
out. Oh, they
that's
only
right.
played for 2 rounds. That's
Yeah,
weird.
Weird, you know?
Crazy.
Yeah.
in. Final segment. Let's just knock this out real quick. You do journalism. You like this journalism thing.
I mean, I guess so, yeah.
You're passionate.
You would say that.
You seem to be.
You wake up every morning and do it.
Uh-huh.
What's so good about it?
What's so good about it?
And what do you bring to it? Why you? Why not journalize from someone else?
Journalize from someone else. You know, the thing that I love about getting to be a news anchor in particular is that I get to be the face for my community. And I mean, anybody could do it, and I would respect anybody for doing it. But I believe that journalists have a very important job. I mean, you're putting out the first version of history, which again, I have a history degree, so I find that very important. But you're providing people the information that they need so they can make their own decisions. That's not what my job is. It's not to tell you what to think. It's not to give you my opinion. It's to give you the facts so that you can do that for yourself. And that's a really important job, especially in today's society. So I take a lot of pride in that. And I take a lot of pride in knowing that I get to be one of those people that can do that in my area, for my people, for my family, for my friends, for the area that I grew up in, for the people that I've been able to connect with as Miss South Dakota, and through all of these different facets that I've had incredible opportunities to meet people. I take a lot of pride in that. I like to be me. When I won Miss South Dakota, one of the questions I got that I like to think really sold me was, they said, what's your superpower? We've talked a lot about superpowers. And I said authenticity, being 100% Miranda. I'm absolutely who I am, the person in this podcast, the person on the stage, the person on TV. They're all me. I'll crack a joke. I'll say something weird. I'll talk about horror movies. Like, I'm not afraid to be myself. And that makes connection for people. It creates trust. And so I like to think that that's why me for this. And that was what kind of pushed me into doing this. I wanted to be an OBGYN. I was going to be pre-med, and that was the plan. I was going to do that, and then had a quarter-life crisis at 18 years old and went, oh God, is this right? And I had people tell me about journalism before and say, hey, I think you might be good at that. I don't know what that means. When I got on stage to sing, I've been in the choir for years. I've done plays. I get itchy. I get nervous. I get sweaty. I couldn't be on camera. But I took some classes and realized, written journalism wasn't quite for me, but I just fell in love with broadcast because, again, that connection that I think you can make with people is really, really, really important in today's society. When I started in broadcast journalism out here in the Black Hills, I got to cover a story about a woman who was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer right after she'd gotten engaged. And the kind of wedding community here in the Black Hills came together to put a wedding on for this couple, like relatively last minute, basically for free, just truly heartwarming. You don't typically spend more than maybe an hour, 2 hours at a story. I was there for 8+ hours because I could not believe the incredible turnout from the community. And that, again, is a big piece and a big passion of mine as a journalist is, yes, it's important for me to talk about the presidential debate that's happening or, the election coming up. but also it's to talk about the firefighters who saved the kitty cat from the tree, or the community who comes together to put a wedding on for a woman who deserves it because she's a selfless person that has had something bad happen to her. So that's one that has stuck with me forever, being able to tell that and being able to put so much of myself into it, not necessarily within the words, but spending the time getting to know the people. Yeah.
Hard to make a joke at that point. Yeah.
I also covered a really cool haunted house where I got to do a really fun transition, and they like made me up, and like that was a fun one. You can make a joke about that.
Someone died in the house, and now we're just gonna make a joke.
Not in that house. No, I wasn't like a dead bride. No, I was not. I was like a dead military person or something. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. So we gotta make fun jokes about dead troops.
Yeah.
That's where we're going with that.
Man,
Miranda
dead troops,
O'Brien,
book
dead
burnings.
Yeah.
This is the last episode of Things Might Happen. This is great.
You're welcome. I'm glad this is it.
Last messages you want to put out there? And
Well, not now.
And where can anybody find you? Like whatever you work for, websites, social media, all that stuff.
Where can you find me? Well, if you want to get up at the butt crack of dawn, dark and early, as I like to say, especially this time of year, you can watch me on KNBN News Center 1. I anchor the news from 5:30 in the morning till about 7. And I mean, I can't see you, but you can see me, and it's fun that I get to wake up with you and hang out with you. I don't drink coffee, but I'll cheers to you if you really want me to. Social media, at Miranda O'Brien TV, or no, M O'Brien TV for anything work related. That will really connect you to anything that I do. Paige Turner's podcast eventually. The High Queen podcast is on social media. There's just nothing there yet, so please follow it. There's just no content for you to look at.
It's like pre-ordering a podcast.
Yeah. Basically. You can find my book on Amazon, Jericho the Journalism Kitty. But I think most importantly, if you see me in person, just say hi. That's what I love. I mean, don't do the weird thing where people will like look at me in the grocery store and like you can see the wheels turning. They're like, I know you, but I don't know who you are. And I just kind of look back at them and I'm like, yeah, that's me. I'm the girl from the news.
Like, so say hi to you. Don't
Please
just stare awkwardly, stare you down.
Please just say hi.
Tyler's entire dating strategy just went out the window.
I was just gonna say, it's like that should just be lessons for anybody.
Right,
like if you're gonna
think,
don't leer at somebody.
But it happens more than you think. Even people I know, I ran into some people in Menards once. Spent a lot of time in Menards, and you could tell they were looking at me, and I was like, "Hi, I do know who you are," and they were like, "You look so different than you used to. You wear a lot of makeup now. You got a little different look." And I was like, you could have just said hi. That would have been fine. But, it is what it is. It is what it is.
So
but.
People should slide into your DMs and ask for feet pics. Is that what we've heard?
Oh, God. Yeah, if you want, you wouldn't be the first. You probably won't be the last. You're not going to get it unless it's the right price. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. Disclaimer.
Don't
all
throw
of this
that
is
out
kidding.
there, 'cause
I don't burn plugs. I don't.
There's a lot of money in there.
I won't sell my feet pics. I'm not. No. All jokes aside.
I
no.
will sell mine though.
Tyler
like you don't
will.
want them, but like I will.
Tyler will. I will.
I'll be affordable. I'm the budget option.
Be too expensive. $1 million.
All right, well, thanks for watching, everybody.
Tune in next week for more pee pics.
This is Miranda O'Brien,
Book
everybody.
birding. Dang it.